Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Well, we have quite a few things to talk about today. We do. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is what's going on in batshit bonkers Britain. I swear I love Katie. She makes me laugh like no other. She really does. Um, yeah. Just take a listen to what she has to say because she just doesn't talk about what goes on over at the UK. She also talks about what happens here in the US as well.
I wanted to say a really happy Thanksgiving to all my brilliant American friends and actually everybody in America who voted for Donald J. Trump and made it happen. He was, of course, the 45th president. I believe he was the 46th, but he's going to be the 47th. So from one Brit to all of you, I know you threw our British asses out of your country, not once, but twice. I know I'm a foreigner and an outsider, but you guys are just simply the best. I love what you've done. I hope you have the best day. If you have to sit around a Thanksgiving table with members of your family who are Democrats, do take a moment just to go out to the kitchen and laugh at their stupidity, make clanking noises with wine bottles, and just pretend to be Kamala. You have the ability whilst you're serving dinner. Just subtle stuff like that doesn't let them know you're mocking them, but totally do. I mean, most of them are probably still stood around Lake Michigan showing off their massive pubic hair and shouting at the sea because Trump won. I mean, I hope they're there and not at your house, but if they are at your house, just know that honestly, you're just a better person than they are. And to young people out there, if you're a Democrat and you happen to be watching this and you haven't been put off by my marvellous hat, please know if you're at your parents' house, you're at your parents' house because they're charming people and they've invited you despite the fact that you're actually a moron. And until you pay tax, let's just say you've been in education since you were 16 and you're still in education because you're hiding from the world, or maybe you don't have a job, you don't really have the right to an opinion either. Your parents won't tell you that, but I can. So anyway, my darling Americans, thank you for what you do. Well done to the Republican Women Federated. Well done to all of you who ever held a clipboard or made a basket or did a raffle or a draw, or the men who put out the chairs. God bless America's Constitution, which is the greatest document ever written. God bless your First and your Second Amendment. And God bless the United States of America, because you are not a democracy. You are a republic, and you still are one nation under God. And you are some of the finest people on the planet. And I will see you all on the 20th of January. For the inauguration of the finest president that America has ever had. And I tell you this, I am handing out thank yous. And those thank yous are whatever you need them to be. I may be nearly 50 years old. I may have dry eyes and other dry areas. I may have hairs where there shouldn't be. But if you want a thank you from me, this is my promise to you. You're getting it. God bless the United States of America.
So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is things that are about to turn into absolute chaos. This administration that we're still under is giving those of them who shall not be named free housing and $350 a week in groceries. Who here gets that? Do you get any kind of housing vouchers? Do you get $350 a week in food stamps? I don't either. I have a mortgage, pay all of my utilities. We don't receive food stamps at all. We pay for everything. We work really, really hard, my husband and I, and it's, we're lucky that we have a little bit of money left over every single month. Do we splurge? No. Do we save? We try, but It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. And it's not, a jealousy type thing, because none of us are jealous of them. Okay? We're pissed. We're done. We're done. Because it's coming out of our pockets. Okay? And I know, a lot of us, we keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. But it's the truth. Okay? And, why should we have to work as hard as we do and have taxes constantly taken out? Why do we continuously have to pay taxes to feed them, to house them, so they can get food stamps and Medicaid, Medicare, free housing, vouchers, this, that, and the other? And then they go on to commit crimes against us. Okay, remember her name, Lake and Riley. Okay, and why? Why does this have to continue to happen? It's like a big FU to our faces. They come here, they steal from us, because that's literally stealing from us. Okay, and then they commit crimes against us. Now, if we were to go to their countries, to where they're from, and do that, my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? So, the insanity has to stop. 47 has to stop this, which I'm sure he's going to. That's probably going to be like first order of business for him. But, how can we, or how can he, round them all? It's going to be absolutely impossible. Absolutely impossible to find all of them. I mean, it's just, how can it be done? Malicious? Think about it.
Illegal migrants in New York are now protesting after the city ended their free food stamp debit card program.
Asylum seekers and activists spilling onto the street in Midtown as they protested. The city will end its controversial debit card program for migrants. Under the pilot program, migrants staying in city-funded hotels receive these cards to buy their own food and other necessities.
Illegal migrants in New York are now protesting after the city decided to end their free food stamp debit card program. The program gave migrant families $350 a week for food and supplies. This situation in New York has garnered controversy from commenters online. Commenters claimed that the $350 a week that was given to migrant families should have gone to homeless veterans, and that federal funding should be ended for all cities housing migrants. But what do you think about the situation? Do you agree with the commenters about migrants?
So if you haven't already heard, one of the Rothschilds perished in a house fire. Yeah. His name was Will Rothschild. And, there's conspiracies going on right now. Was it deliberate? Was it an accident? Was it this? Was it that? Well, with that family, nothing would surprise me.
Breaking right now at 11 o'clock, a deadly house fire in the Hollywood Hills. And tonight we're learning about the man with a very famous last name who lived and died there. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand live in the Hollywood Hills with the breaking new details tonight. Jory.
Mark, firefighters had a difficult time accessing this home because it's set so far back off the road, and it's at the top of a very steep hill with a very thin stairwell leading up there. Once they did access the home, they made the tragic discovery inside, and it turns out the man who lived there might have been a billionaire. Hollywood Hills neighbors did everything they could to put out this raging fire that broke out in a home on Lookout Mountain Avenue.
I was going up the stairs, and right as I approached the top of the stairs, the flames burst out of the house.
Firefighters knocked down the flames in about 20 minutes, but found the home's elderly occupant dead inside. Neighbors identifying him as Will Rothschild of the Rothschild family.
We're getting a new roof put on tomorrow, and so I told my wife email him to make sure it's okay that we use part of his driveway. And he never responded, and I said, well, that's so unlike him.
Rothschild is described by neighbors as an eccentric millionaire or even billionaire with multiple properties and dozens of some of the most expensive cars on earth. But on a street lined with multi-million-dollar homes and mansions occupied by celebrities and the powerful, Rothschild was said to have lived as a bit of a recluse in a small, old, rickety home in conditions described as that of a hoarder, something the fire department seemed to tactfully confirm tonight.
Given the fire damage, it's kind of hard to determine how much of that was prior to the fire and how much of it is the building itself that has been demolished by the fire.
And while some neighbors had never even seen him and assumed the house was vacant, those that did know him are saddened by the loss.
It is very sad. He was a good guy, good neighbor.
This is very tough for those that knew him. Arson investigators were on scene, but the fire department tells me that is typical for any fire in which someone loses their life. Once they cleared their investigation, the coroner came to remove the body. We are now awaiting a cause of death to see whether he had passed before the fire or he perished within the fire. Now we await to see what kind of treasures may have been inside of this. We've already gotten a peek at some of the cars on the property. There are high-end vintage cars, including one that a neighbor says once belonged to Michael Jordan.
So while we were all preparing our feasts on Thanksgiving, and we were, did anybody watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? I didn't watch it, but then again, I don't have cable. So, there were mass arrests at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There was. Palestine protesters were blocking the roads. For what? Do you not realize that you are not going to get your point across? Because, you're just going to get arrested. Your voice is not going to be heard while in the commission of a crime. It's not going to be heard. Okay? Get it through your thick stalls. Serious. Does it hurt? Didn't think so.
Are you okay? Palestine, motherfucker! Free Palestine, motherfucker! This is America! I know who you are, dumbass. You think I don't know who you are? Get the fuck out of here! We're not celebrating death or faggot. Get the fuck out of here! I just called you. Get the fuck out of here! Say it again. Faggot? I'm fucking gay, dumbass. Get out of here! I'm a literal faggot. Good! Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! Free Palestine, everybody. You see, they're asking for an arms embargo. Bro, they're already signing shit, punching off. It's gonna be done. That's for arms embargo. It's gonna be done. They're obviously gonna get arrested. Yeah. You'd be a great cop. They love you. They love you. You seem really trigger happy. No, it's a bullshit. You have multiple people. He doesn't need to touch me. I don't think a lot of people involved. Don't fucking touch me.
Thousands of innocent children!
So this is going to infuriate the hell out of you. Lee Brown, she is a North Carolina realtor, and she went to visit the Old Fort area 2 months after Helene hit. And there is still debris piles all along the roads, and there's still debris all along the roads here too, okay? And we were told that it's going to take about a year for them to come pick it up, okay? So we keep hearing the same story, different day. The government has no money to help the Appalachians and stuff like that. But Lee, she did some digging, okay? She's like me. She digs. And I want you to listen to what she has discovered, because she's one smart cookie, and I like her. I think I just found my new best friend. Yeah.
For any of y'all that are tired of hearing about Western North Carolina, I can't shut up because this is my home. This is Old Fort Elementary School. Looks all right from the outside till you see the restoration truck, and thank you, Belfour, for helping us save that elementary school. And then you see the house back here, and if I lift my camera up, you can see the water line on that house, and that's why there's no glass in those windows. And then you can see these neighbors here trying to save this brick house, and you can see right here behind that house, a trailer had washed up, and there it sits. And you look on down the street, and you see all the debris, and y'all, this is November 25th. 2024. We are right at 2 months after Hurricane Helene, and it still looks like a third world war zone because the debris's got to get picked up. We got to have contractors, and to make all that happen, you need money. And so I did some looking because I keep hearing from our elected officials that there's just no money for this, and they're doing the best they can. Well, if the best that you can do is this, then I respectfully request as a taxpayer that you do better. And so I did some math looking up, because as a realtor, I'm very good with math. And I looked it up, and right now in North Carolina, there is an influx center in Greensboro. That's where they put the illegal immigrants for housing, I guess. And there is a grant just for security, y'all, just for security at the immigrant center in Greensboro, and their outlay for 20 and 24, $5,010,000 against a projected outlay of $22 million. So I would respectfully request that every one of you bureaucrats and elected officials in DC and in North Carolina and wherever you have a say in it, take the dollars away from security for that center and give it to the taxpayers of North Carolina to help every town like Old Fort come back and help these areas come back without running people off. They don't want to leave their communities. Let our neighbors live where they want to live. Bring back the liberty, bring back the freedom, and for heaven's sake, stop wasting the money when it should be spent on those who put it in the kitty to start with.